Good afternoon, and I hope that this week has been treating you great so far. It has been awesome over here, and I'm super happy. All is going really well. And today I'm working on some more of the Hellwitch blanks. So I hope that everybody's having a good time so far, and for anyone who can make it, thank you for being here on my live stream today. Yay! Okay, so these are the other two that I had done, and I have my opaque white here today so that I can finish these two up, and then we're gonna work on the third one. And so I have 4 of these blanks that I've been working on here and there with you guys on live stream. And this one is the last one that needs to be done, but it looks like I'm gonna need to turn down my light over here so that you guys can see it. And I can zoom in a little bit more. All right, so I'm not getting out the colors yet because it's not coloring time yet for these ones. I'm gonna work on refining this outfit and making it a final piece that I can start inking. So that will be step 1. And then once I start in on the colors, I'll finish off the other 2 blanks and work on the colors then to get everything wrapped up so that at least 3 of them are done, and then I have 1 left before it's time to hand them over at Emerald City Comic Con. Odd. Sorry, something is going odd on my thing. All right, so to everyone who is hosting me, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the hosts. And so time to get to drawing. So what I want to do today, and this is just to test it out. I tried one other time. Hello, Brandy. Hi, Stever. Thank you so much for coming to the show, you guys. So, yay, Kylie. I missed you too. I am so sorry I didn't make it on Sunday. Truth be told, I played hooky and skipped out on the show. I have no other good excuse besides I wanted to hang out with my daughter, and she rated my makeup. So anyway, it was really fun. Hi, Jason. All right, so I have this extra arm here because I'm gonna try to do a little bit of fast stream recording, you know, the time-lapse recording while I'm working on this. Virus, good evening. Welcome to the stream today. Thank you so much for coming. So I'm just gonna get my recorder just for something else to record and have as another type of video for this. I personally really enjoy seeing other artists' time-lapse videos, and they're like sped up videos. I actually find them almost somewhat addicting because they are just so fun to look at and watch. So hopefully this isn't going to bother anyone. I'll zoom in a little bit more so that I'm not, it's not right in my face, but we're going to try it. If it's annoying for anyone, just let me know. Hello, Bruce. Hi, Eric. No, Steve, I haven't tried to find the erasers yet. All right, so my thought with this one is to change her pose just a little bit. I have her hand up in the other 2 versions, so I don't want her hand up here. And I'm thinking to put her in that gown that I have her in for the Hellwitch cover that I did a little while ago. So I'm gonna try out putting the gown on her. So I just need to find it in my files Final covers. It's 2018. All right. I'm just getting the version of the cover that I got to do for Hellwitch. And I'm going to have it here as reference because I'd like to recreate this dress. It would be fun to do. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, thank you, Kylie. I'm glad that you support the dress. All right, so I got this completely set up and then forgot to press record. Very typical. All right, you guys see enough of my face. If it's covered a little bit, oh well. Hi, Tom. Hey, Adam. It's your birthday today, right? Happy birthday. So I want one arm back, but I'm gonna have both of her arms down. And as you guys can see, this is kind of my very, very basic layout. This is where all like muscles are really sharp and a little exaggerated, and I tone it down as I'm working through the piece. I'm actually not going to have hair here because that's going to be a little bit unnecessary amount of stuff to work around in the colors. Oh, hey, Craig. Yeah, and you're next. Okay, so she has, oh, I made it too long. But she has a little bit of a choker that comes down to a point. I'm just gonna draw in her neck real quick. Her collarbones. Hello, Harv. How's it going? Thank you all so much for coming today. I haven't yet, Craig, but I definitely really appreciate you posting those, and I'm gonna definitely take a look. Okay, and then this is how her top goes. Hey, Scott. Hello, Hope. Now, even when I was working on this, I found this whole part on her forearm really challenging to figure out. And the reason why I say challenging to figure out is because the way that this is turning on her arm. So basically, I got the idea for this part of her dress. It's like her forearm sleeves. You can search it online. It's just Hellwitch, Coffin Comics, Don McTeigue, maybe you'd be able to find it. If you look at her forearm and the way it's designed, oh, someone just followed me and I missed it. Thank you so much for the follow. All right, so what I did for that one is I got the inspiration from some cuts in a champagne glass. And just the way that they turned and hugged the base of the champagne glass, I thought was really pretty. I don't know where I found it, but anyway, that's what it's inspired from, is like the flute part of a champagne flute, I believe they're called. And it's so fun to get inspiration from just the most random things. So that's what kind of inspired the way that her sleeves are. And trying to transform that into something that would work as clothing and cloth on a body was really like a tricky one to see how it would work and how it would fit. But I just really liked the sort of swooping triangular parallel lines. I think there were a few more. You know, I've of course made plenty of adjustments to make it work on a piece of cloth. It was also glass, not black and red. But anyway, you know, you can get inspired from just the most random things. I think her arm, so on this side, it meets up with her belly button. On this side, I might shorten it just a tiny, tiny bit. Well, no, it's not actually too long. It looks too long. Hey, Hans! Let me know if it seems blurry. I've been having some webcam trouble. That's why I was about 5 minutes late starting today, because every time I set up, it deletes all of my settings and everything is dark and blue. It's the worst. So all this isn't going to be here anymore because it's going to be the dress. And the dress has a long center line. Oh yay, have fun, Hans. Hey, Doe, or Do. Hey, Anthony. Oh, my day's going great. Thanks, Anthony. Oh, thanks so much, Harv. Have a good one. So I didn't really think this dress through completely. So I really have no idea what was going on in my head at the time that I was working on this, besides like, oh, that might look cool. But I'm really hoping that this looks good straight on, otherwise we may have a problem. Yeah, pretty much, Craig. So for anyone who is new to the stream today, I'm working on a Hellwitch blank for Coffin Comics. And I'm following the dress design that I did for one of the Hellwitch Kickstarter covers. So my task was to have Hellwitch in a gown on a throne. So and Brian is so awesome. He gives me a lot of freedom to just wing it and create some kind of fun dress. So it makes me all kinds of happy and it's so much fun. So I got to design a dress for this. So I'm kind of copying myself here in a published cover for Hellwitch. So when you see me looking at the screen, I'm either reading your comments or I have a low-res JPEG of the cover just up. Oh, look, so there it is right there. So that's what I'm looking at on my screen. It's in the slideshow right now, at least as far as I can see. And that is the dress that I'm making. Oh, thank you, Keeman. Hello, the Huinator. It's the fun part, Kylie. It is so much the fun part. So these parts are like big black bands, and then so the main portions of the dress that cover all the naughty bits is just like a red velour style cloth. It's not particularly shiny. It has more of a diffused catching of the light. And then all of these parts that are in the negative space are kind of a sheer black, nylon-y kind of material. No. Hello, Robert. I need to email you and Kathy. I got the book yesterday. Yay! Thank you so much. Oh, that would be so fun, Scott. It looked like you guys were having the best time. I did, Robert. I flipped through the whole thing. Thank you so much. It was fantastic. I'm so glad you guys had a good time. Are you serious, Scott? Oh, guys, thank you so much for letting me know. The Fiends rule. Thank you. Oh my God, really? Oh, you guys are amazing. And thanks for letting me know. That means so much. Aw. Oh, okay, Anthony. When you get back, let us know how your cat is. It's not because she or he is sick, is it? I'm gonna shorten this arm in the back, even though it's not technically wrong. It looks wrong to me. I feel like it just looks too long. So I'm gonna fix it. Oh, teeth clean. Oh, okay, yep, I know that one. Well, I hope it goes well, Anthony. Oh, Jason, you're wonderful. Thank you so much. So I'm going to put this arm a little bit more in a back plane. So it's not going to be exactly in the same perspective as her. Like, because she's turned, I'm making it a little further away, which is going to make it so that I can have the arm a little bit shorter, because it was just, it's looking odd to me with both arms exactly the same length. Thank you, the Huanator. But still, I really don't want the hands doing anything besides just being there. I've had the last two blanks that I did for Hellwitch, a hand is up. So in the next two, I need to not do the hand. And when you're doing poses for blanks and stuff, or even for covers, you know, finding something for the arms to do. If the character doesn't have a sword, or even if they do, what are you doing with the arms, you know? You're kind of playing marionette with the characters when you're putting them in these things, and I'm always having a hard time, like, where the fuck am I gonna put their arms, you know? So then it just always comes to me to, like, do something like this, you know? And then it's just, it gets a little like, oh my God, I did it again. Yeah, proportions are a pain in the butt. And then coming up with something for their arms to do that doesn't look boring, like they're just kind of standing there with limp, dead arms. Generally, the characters that I am so fortunate to draw are powerful female characters. They wouldn't be standing there doing something like this, you know? It's just, it's not, even if it wouldn't be inappropriate, it's like, it's not in their nature, or it's not something that I feel like drawing them in. For the most part, I've definitely done those kind of poses for sure. But it's important to put in more to them, in my opinion, and then what the fuck? I going to do this time? So it is really handy when the character has a sword like Lady Death. You can always incorporate the sword and kind of play off of that in your posing. But yeah, it's always a thing for me of like, what am I going to do with their hands? So this time they are going to be a little bit just plain by her side, for the reason that I'm not going to be playing up the powers that she has like in this one. I'm not going to play up the green energy power source that she has. I'm going to more go for the dress is the main character in the outfit, which is, you know, typical me just loving to draw clothes, but whatever. I'm sure Brian will be okay with it. Or here's to hoping. Because it's important, of course, to have a balance. And I am trying to have a balance of having her as a strong character, having her powerful with a sword, showing her powers, all of that. But then in this one, I'm just going to be like, pretty girl dress. So we're going to see just a little tiny poke out of the bottom of her earlobes, because her hair is going to be covering the rest. Oh, I love it, Robert, and I'm so grateful to you and Kathy. I know how expensive it is to ship to and from Canada, so thank you so much. It is the coolest gift. You absolutely did not have to get me a new book. I would have been so happy with an old one full of donkey ears and whatever. It would have been fine. But thank you so much. It was so thoughtful of you. And I will email you and Kathy too. Since you were on here, I wanted to say thank you. Good evening, Philip. Yeah, I hear you, Huanator. So since she has the red dress in this one, I'm going to accentuate her red eyes, because she's got some pretty intense red eyes. And also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, well, I'm sure I've talked about it on other live streams, but I love putting really exaggerated makeup on characters too. Like the Lady Death one that was at Fiend Fest, where I literally had makeup from like hairline to inner eye, just all over. Because it's like war paint. All right, talk to you later, Robert. Lots of love to Kathy. So I haven't forgotten that she has piercings. And she has two right here. The one on her lip that I almost forgot last time, but I think Kylie caught it. So she has one on her lip here. And then she has two spike piercings on her brow bone. And then she has a spike going through, I guess it's going through her bone right here, the bridge of her nose. Oh, I'm feeling great, Philip. Thank you so much. I came up with an idea for the hand. Just took a few scribbles to figure it out. I have my kneaded eraser somewhere, and it is kneaded. There we go. So I know I've explained a ton how I set up hands. But if you ever have any questions about how I do it, just let me know. That particular pose of a hand is a little bit challenging also because I'm not entirely sure what I'm trying to do there, which means I'm most likely going to adjust it. But here you can see I've got the main portion of the hand, basically the upper side of the palm, and now I am just throwing in some fingers here. And they're like super gnarly, nasty looking things until I refine them a little bit. But there you go. You guys get to see somebody struggling a little bit and fucking up on a hand, because that was bad. Yeah, my much needed eraser, that's right. I think the main thing is that her arm, I've got us seeing the underside, which means we would be seeing the palm of her hand. But then I'm drawing her palm on the opposite side. So I was twisting it in a way that's why the arm wasn't matching with the shape of the hand or the positioning of the hand. Foreshorten here. Because I want it to go that way, and everything is going in that direction a little bit. So I don't think we would see all the fingers here, just a few of them. All right, just measuring hand to face. Yes, it works. Kylie is back. Hello, and hi, Larry. I'm sorry I missed you there for a second. Think it pulls in a little bit more right here, and then her gown, I'm gonna make it kind of going out like that. and out like that on this side. There we go. All right, just gonna refine her hair a little bit, put in a few little more details, and we're gonna go straight to inking. Oh, hello, Mr. E. Yes, I'm trying to stream a little bit later today. I always feel bad when everybody's at work and stuff. The one catch is that I'm giving myself half an hour to cook dinner, so I actually prepared dinner. I cut all the meat and have it all marinating and everything now, and so everything is ready, but I only have about 20 minutes to cook dinner. So when I leave, I'm gonna have to do some epic hauling of ass to get dinner cooked. Oh, good. Coffee is amazing. I'm having coffee. Okay. So I'm just gonna put a few more horns and refine this out a little bit more, get a little more detail in her wings. Okay, so her wings would go right about like that. Let's get the other side. Nope, gotta be careful. Can't go over and rest my hand on the spine. Gotta really watch out for the spine when you're working with blanks. There we go. Okay, it's time to start inking. Whoop whoop. Yes, Mr. E, this is the third one, and then I have one more blank to do before Emerald City Comic Con. So my goal is to have this one done this week. I'm working on a personal project right now, so this is the Twitch art. And then I'll have the next one done during next week's live streams, and I can hand them over to Coffin Comics at Emerald City Comic Con, which is going to be awesome. The last couple times that I've been given these blanks to do, just sort of fit them in whenever you can. I mean, I hand them over like a year later, a year and a half later, I'm very ashamed to say. So this time I was like, I am not doing that. I am handing them over the next time I see Brian. Oh, that's true, Kylie. I hadn't thought of that. It's just then I can't twitch it. Because I'd actually have to draw a bar and then I wouldn't be able to color it. But, you know, I'm sure there's a workaround. Yay, thank you, Philip. Yes. Hand delivered. I believe Brian's going to be at Emerald City, right? All right, so like usual, I am using my Faber-Castell Eco Pigment pens. I like the sizes 1 to 3, and I just kind of use whichever one I haven't messed up already, because I mess them all up eventually. These nibs are really good, but you know, there's only so much use they can handle. All right, so for inking, I do start to slowly slouch a little bit so that I move closer to the paper. When I'm not live streaming, my nose is almost right on the paper. I have the worst posture. So you may see half of my face covered by this dealio and that dealio. But hopefully you can still get a basic gist of what I'm doing. So this time I'm doing her horns a little bit softer. I've been doing them as like unicorn horns that kind of look like a soft serve ice cream. But this time I'm gonna do them a little bit straighter, and I have seen both represented in Hellwitch art. So I think it's a little bit, you know, we can kind of pick or choose. Oh, good. Yay. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, Kylie, just watch out for it, because now my back, like my upper back and neck, are just all kinds of fucked up. So I'm in like physical therapy to like fix it. So just when you can, maybe I should just send you a list of some of the exercises that my physical therapist is actually having me do, so that you don't get the like chicken neck sticking forward that I've got going on. You know, they said that my shoulders are rolling forward, like all the issues of having bad posture, I am like rocking them. So be careful with that. Oh, perfect. I didn't read all the way through yet. I looked at all the pictures and need to catch up on the email from them. Yeah, Kylie, really watch out about that. And honestly, I mean, it isn't just artists, it's kind of anyone with a desk job, because it's kind of, it's the same basic thing. Maybe not as extreme as an artist where you're really hunched over and looking down, but it's still the same concept. So everybody, I'm just gonna play mommy for a second and watch your posture. Do exercises, especially stretch your chest, because we're all like this on keyboards. And then your back is overextended and your chest is all crunched in, and then that makes us all hunch like this. It's no good. Yeah, it's true. Hey Jeff, thank you so much for the host, and thank you for being here. Yeah, Dan works at a standing desk. Like all day he stands. It's very respectable. I can't do it. I do draw standing up at shows, but you know, that's about as much as I can handle. And I draw standing up at shows because otherwise when you're sitting down with your head down and everyone's walking by, I have such a like bitchy focus face. So people are like, ooh, I don't know if I should talk to her. Oh, that is amazing, Bruce. You use a gym ball for a seat? Nice. So it looks like all of you guys are really on it, which is very respectable. I have mad respect for you guys because I am not very good when it comes to taking care of myself. That's amazing, Kylie. Can you sign up as well? Like, are you able to benefit from that? Though, if you don't want to, I don't blame you because I really hate working out in actual gyms. For me, working out is a very private affair. It's not something I like doing in a gym. Even though nobody's watching and nobody cares, I still feel like I have an audience and it just no thank you. Oh, Rose Love Art, thank you so much. And I'm sorry about the app crashing. To be honest though, I haven't posted in DeviantArt in years. I'm mostly on Instagram and Facebook and here on Twitch. Oh, thank you so much, Rose Love. That's really interesting, Mr. E. I'm gonna leave the top lip and do that later on. I don't like the top lip super inked in. Hey Kevin, welcome to the stream. Oh, see you later, Jeff. I'm so sorry I missed your post.
When you would sleep beside me, conversations in my sheets, body to body, a sudden hit to my blind side, like a ghost I couldn't find. I remember you said to me, nothing's gonna break us, this love will make us, nothing's gonna break. Yeah, nothing's gonna break us, this love will make us, nothing's gonna break.
Oh, thank you, Mr. E. I'm so glad that you remembered. For sure, Rose Love. Have a good one, and thank you so much for stopping by. Okay, so she has some jewels that I haven't put in yet. So I'm going to get the jewels in. So there's one big one right here. And a couple other smaller ones. Now, of course, it doesn't really matter. This was sort of like a one-off dress for this particular comic book. So it's not like, you know, an outfit that needs to remain consistent. So if I have a couple jewels in the wrong place, it's not going to hurt the look of the character.
Very much alike. All right. I'll tell you the truth.
Derek, 10,000. Thank you so much for the follow. Yay! I need to shorten this a little bit here. And then, oh, Hypno Sherlock has been there for a while. Dan set it up. It's so awesome. Oh, thank you, Kylie. Yay. So jewels are a lot easier to handle when you're working with digital. I mean, they're still a pain, but trying to color around them here is going to be very exciting. Yes, we looked into it, Kylie, and it is something that costs, like, we might do it, but it's a paid thing in Moobot. Okay, time to ink the dress. Whoop, whoop. And this pen is dead. I've been trying to push it as much as it could take, but now it's actually like hurting the art because it's so dead. So I'm not going to fill in the black of this until the whole piece is done. So the thing with any kind of precious stones that you're adding that I've learned is make each angle really, really different and have the contrast quite high. Like have one be catching the light and be completely white. and another one be like extremely dark right next to it, so that one is touching the light and one is completely in shadow, and make each angle of a precious stone that you have in your drawing really different from all the other ones, and it just makes it look so much more realistic than trying to like go in and softly shade everything. I've had to really train myself to just use a hard, almost like pen brush as opposed to an airbrush in digital coloring, and then in traditional just seriously make it as high contrast as you can. Oh, thank you, Derek. I'm so glad you like the wings, and I'm gonna do the wings the same way as I did this one, which was, I can't remember what colors I used. Kylie, if you happen to know, a heads up would be very, very appreciated. But yeah, I'm gonna do the same kind of wings for this one. So it took me the first one to kind of figure out what I wanted to do, and then the colors are starting to come together on the second one. I've just got the bumps going over a little bit of a bump in the cloth right here. Just so that it looks like it's material and not just stuck to her body. Oh, thank you, Derek. Thanks for the offer, Scott. Oh, it would be so fun to see a sculpt. So I think I made under this whole part completely in black. But I'm not really sure what I was doing. And I don't think at the time I was sure what I was doing. Just massively winging it. Didn't I do this one on Twitch with you guys? I think that I did. So I don't think I've ever done Copic nylon mesh before. So it's gonna be an interesting challenge. We'll have to see how this goes. So I have a black band going over her shoulder. So that's gonna be a little bit interesting because of the fact that that's what's being viewed as the edge. So it looks like I just went aggressively thick right there. The demand is for a Wonder Booty sculpture? No! Hello, T-Quick 101. And Alexander Davenport. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, Gabriel made it. Yay! Hi, Gabriel. This is, I have an assignment, a work assignment from Coffin Comics. They gave me 4 Lady Death blanks and asked me to draw the new character Hellwitch on them. So it's an open-ended deadline, so they didn't tell me like it has to be done by X date. I have a self-imposed deadline to hand them over by Emerald City Comic Con because Coffin Comics will be there. So right now I'm working on blank number 3. And for this one, I decided to do a little bit of a variation on her outfit. So she usually has a leather garter situation. Hiru Doi de Black. Okay. I'm just going to abbreviate and say Hiru. Thank you so much for the follow. Hello, River Dragon. So the outfit that I'm doing on her now, because usually she has like high boots and a leather and spiked outfit, is when I did a cover for the Lady Death Kickstarter, my assignment was to draw her in a gown. So I was given the opportunity to just design a gown for her, which honestly is like playtime for me. So I was extremely happy to get to do that. I decided for this one, just for fun and something different, I would use that dress. So if you want to, you can search it online. Just look up Coffin Comics, Hellwitch, Don McTeigue, and it should show up. And that's the dress that I'm using as my reference. So I have a image of my work right here, and I'm copying myself. Whoop whoop. But her dress is red, and that's going to be really, really fun to color because the Copic Marker reds are awesome. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Coffin Comics. Oh, thank you, Keeman. So I'm really excited about this one. And the last two that I've done are very green focused because the power that emanates from her hand is like a bright lime green color, right? So the other two are very green. This one I'm gonna go red, and like, I may not even put a background on it because I know that sometimes Coffin likes to cut the blanks out of the backgrounds that I put on and put them on a metal book. So when I put a big background in and all this ambient color, I think it kind of gets in their way. So I might not put a background on it. I'm still keeping that in my mind. Oh, thank you so much, Gabriel. It's so fun for me. It's like party time. And this is where the dress ends. So because her wrist is kinked, I'm giving her a little bit of a scrunching, ruching in her, by her wrist right here, like I did on the other side. And then her hands are bare. And I think she has red nails. No, thank you, Jason. So this whole part is a little bit of a scribbly mess, but I think I can pretty much determine where everything is at. Okay, now doing her hands. So the thumb only has 2 knuckles, right? And then the actual base of the thumb is quite big. So I've incorporated that. Then there's her palm. And I think I need to go a little bit longer on that knuckle. There we go. And I'm not drawing in all the fingers. I don't think it's super necessary here. It'll just make her hand area look over detailed and a little bit too much, I think. So I'm just doing a few of the fingers because in this particular angle, you wouldn't even necessarily see them all. we go. So I did it like this because I want us to be able to see her thigh through the cloth. So even though her dress is coming down, straight down, like being pulled by gravity, I still have her leg going in because right here it's going to be sheer, so technically you would see the red. Have I ever been a fashion designer? No. No, that's a great idea, Bruce. I didn't think of that. Yeah, outfits can be a challenge for sure. Now on this side, it's all red because the triangular shape of the sheer part is completely over her thigh here on this side. But I'm still gonna do some lines. Maybe I'll do that. I thinned out her thigh a little bit. And then right here, her thigh is going over her back leg. All right, let's get some of the stones in there. And because these are small, I'm not putting in all of the detail that you would see, like every little edge and stuff, because they're so tiny you wouldn't see it all. And if I tried to fill it all in, it would start making these just look like black blobs because they're quite small. Sheerness, yes. Okay, we're almost done. So because the wings are a lot more, think of them like bone, I'm gonna be doing a lot faster, sharper ink lines. Especially also because I don't have to be perfectly precise with this. It's, you know, it's not like I'm gonna get the anatomy wrong or the face is gonna look odd. So I'm a little bit more cautious with, say, inking a face. But for this part, almost the sharper and more angular line I give it, the better it looks. So my lines, in order to get that sharp look, I'm going a little bit faster. Hey, Kylie! Yeah, inking takes a little while to kind of figure out what medium you prefer to use. Like if you're a felt pen person or you like using the crow quill or a brush. I really love the look of crow quill inking, but I've never managed to spend the time that's needed to really understand how to hold it and how to use it. So, but I did do a lot of time inking with a brush. So I kind of toggle between felt pens and a Winsor & Newton Series 7 brush. Okay, so like usual, you have to be really careful when you're working on a blank to not damage the spine. And the spine is this part of the blank. Because some people like to get their blanks graded, and the grading process checks everything. So the grading doesn't mean they're grading your artwork, but they're grading the quality of the book. And so you have to be really, really careful to not do anything that'll damage the book, which can be a little bit tricky because you're trying to work on it too. And for someone who's, say, left-handed, it's incredibly difficult. I can put my weight on this side, but for someone who's left-handed and they're trying to work like this and not put any weight on it, it's got to be so challenging. So when it comes to blanks, I'm grateful that I'm right-handed. Even though when it comes to, like, you know, the left and right brain and all of that, those theories, I really wish I was a lefty. Okay, the inks are done. So now it's time for me to clean it. And the first thing that I do is I use my kneaded eraser, and this is a Faber-Castell kneaded eraser. This is what it looks like. And this kneaded eraser is amazing. I really love it. Some kneaded erasers leave like a residue on your art, it's kind of like a chalky, powdery substance, and I find that really frustrating to deal with because then you have to really clean the paper or it messes with the Copic marker. This one doesn't leave any kind of residue, so I really love it for that reason. And it doesn't pick up the ink lines so much. So I use this one first to kind of get off as much as I can, and then I come in with my stronger eraser and really clean it up. So I forgot a couple spots that I'm gonna have to go in and add the line art back in, but that's fine. Like the jewels right here I forgot, and her piercings. Okay, and be very careful by the spine like usual. So I'm going to put the jewels back in. And her piercing. And her top lip. There we go.
My chest till it hurts, picking up the pieces that keep falling apart. When did you turn your head, erase me, searching for my heart?
Okay. Now I'm going in with my considerably more powerful eraser. And this one can sometimes pick up the line art. So, like the inked lines. So I'm cautious with it, and I'm only using it where I have to. Swordfish, if you want, also, Kylie's right, that is the mechanical pencil I'm using, but if you want to see the rest of the stuff that I use, you can just scroll down and I have a list of all the tools that I use.
I'm spinning and everything is confusing. I can't seem to slow my mind down. Is it you, is it me?
So there can be a little bit of graphite dust that kind of coats the whole piece. So I'm cleaning up that right now. Really careful on the edge here. Just going really lightly. Oh, you can't see it on the mobile. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I think for fun this time, I'm gonna start with the red dress because it's just too much fun and red is so awesome to work with. So I'm gonna get started with the red. So I'm getting out the reds that I use. And I'm getting my hex chart. Okay, so I'm not gonna use that. Well, okay, I've got them all here and I'll just work with them for a bit. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Mikey, for the raid. You're awesome. Hello, everybody that's joined Mikey. Mikey, you're an amazing artist. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you here. Thank you all so much for being here. Okay, so a little introduction. My name is Dawn McTeigue. I'm a comic book artist, and right now I'm working on a blank comic book cover. So the way this comes is with no art on it. It's a blank piece of paper, and I am working on drawing in a cover here. And this is a character by Coffin Comics called Hellwitch. And I just finished the pencils and inks on this live stream, and now I'm going to work on adding the colors, and I use Copic markers. So this is a brand of marker that I absolutely love, and that's what I'm going to be working on now. If you want, though, you can see on the little slideshow that's other work that I've done, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. Also, my crew on here are so amazing, and they will answer if I happen to miss any questions. So, for Copic markers, I have a bad habit of overfilling them. They are a refillable marker, which is amazing. Crusher, thank you so much for the follow. So in order to get the reds that I like and the proper shading, I use a bunch. And I have I have 5 markers that I'm using right now to get the red. So this is going to be really, really fun. And thank you again, Mikey, for the raid. Hello, Jedi B311. Thank you so much for the follow. Okay, so this is a dress that I designed for Hellwitch, and I drew it on a actual comic book cover that I digitally colored and everything like that. No, nothing, man. Thank you for the follow. I really, really appreciate it, you guys. Oh, you've only played with the warm gray set? I started with the warm and the cools and then slowly added more colors in just because it's so much fun. But this is a cheat sheet that I use. It's called the hex chart, and I dinged my plastic case that it's in. But this is what I use to decide which color I'm gonna use. Lost Martyr, thank you for the follow. Everyone who's following, if I miss thanking you, I really don't mean to. I just didn't see it, but thank you so much for following me. So this is called a hex chart, and it's put together for all the colors that Copic has. And then you can fill in the blank sheets, the little blank hexagon shapes of the markers you have. So this is my personal set, and then I know what colors I have and which ones to use. Yeah, right? Copic can be a little bit of an expensive hobby, but it's awesome. Crobatus, thank you so much for the follow. Okay, so I'm gonna get started now, but before I get to coloring, just so you guys know, I do have a email list where I update everyone on kind of what it's like to be a comic book artist. You can go to my website and subscribe. I will do a thing to give you the link. And that is, I don't really have my Twitch set up for subscribers here, but I really do appreciate email subscriptions. It's free, and that's how you can keep up on all the different projects that I'm working on. I've done work for DC Comics, I've done work for Valiant and Lady Death, and Zenoscope, and Dark Horse and Dynamite, a bunch of different companies, Aspen Comics. And so what I do is any companies that allow me permission to stream my comic book cover or interior art on Twitch, and a bunch of them do because they're awesome, I do a lot of my actual work on live stream. So please feel free to follow me here and also subscribe to my email list. All right. So this is my little dab pad. It's just a napkin that I use to catch any excess Copic. So first thing I do is I lay down the color that is my base tone. Painted Dreams, thank you so much for the follow. You guys rock. Thank you for joining Mikey Mega for the raid. I really appreciate it, Mikey. Marasmo, I hope I read that correctly. Thank you for the follow. All right, so this dress is red in some portions, black on the stripes, and then like a sheer mesh on other portions. So it'll start coming together and making a little bit more sense once I start getting a lot of the Copic in. So I do commissions on here too. Unfortunately, my commission list is closed, but if you're on my email list and you're interested in a sketch at a show, my email list is the best place to be told and informed what shows I'm going to and where I'm taking commissions. Brandon Hero, thank you for the follow. So this color that I'm using is R24. It's called Prawn. So it's a bit more orange than a lot of the other reds that I'm going to be using, but it's a very nice base tone. And it works really well because I'll leave this on its own as some of the shine portions. So this is not like a super shiny latex style dress. It's a bit more of a velour style. Oh, hello, Easily Forgettable. How's it going? Oh, Jedi B, the Baroness was drawn and inked traditionally and colored digitally. So for everything, I at least start traditional. I am not very good at drawing on the computer. I haven't really conquered that one yet. So I'm primarily a traditional artist and I'm just starting to digitally color my work. So a lot of the stuff that you're seeing here is going to be mostly colored with Copic Marker. Now, the stripes on this dress, all these strips in here are going to be black. So if I go outside the lines with the red a little bit, I'm not too concerned because they're going to be black soon. So any red overflow is not going to matter. So that's why I can kind of plow through this a little bit quicker because you're not going to see any of my going outside the lines. It's like the perfect stopgap for problems and mistakes and not coloring in the lines. Woohoo! Okay, and then this whole portion is red as well. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, see you later, Larry Artman. Have a good one. All right, so as soon as I'm done filling this with this prawn color, I'm going to go in and start adding in the rest of the reds. And this is 100% the fun part. Okay, and then there's a little bit of red in here too. mound. Oops, all right. So when you go outside the lines, somewhere that you don't want, you can just use the colorless blender by Copic, and it works like an eraser. So I'm just pushing the color back into where it belongs. And I went out a little bit over here too. So slowly but surely, it's gonna start like bleaching that color. There we go. Okay, prawn is done. And now I'm moving on to R46, which is strong red. And for the most part, it's going to cover up almost all of the prawn. But that's fine because the R24 color that I was using really helps the red to look a lot more rich. Thank you, Kylie. I really had to think about it because it would be so easy to just accidentally color in the wrong spot and so unfortunate. Thank you, Mr. E. Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm leaving some portions without the red on it, and I'm going to go back in with R24 and blend the edges. Oh yeah, it's great, Jedi. It's like honestly one of the best things about Copics is that you can layer and you can make a color so much more rich that way, in my opinion. So now I'm using the red and just doing the same thing. And then taking the lighter prawn color that's a little bit more orange in tone and coloring over it. And while it's still wet, I'm gonna do the rest because it's always, honestly, with Copic Marker, it's best to do any kind of shading that you want to be smooth all in one shot while it's still wet. And then it'll blend better. Oh wow, they are, Gabriel? That's crazy. Thank you, Juan Solo. All right, and now I'm gonna take one more even darker color, which is called dark red. It's R89, and that's going to be the real deep shadows. So this is like the closest color to black that I have in the reds. It's a very dark, rich, almost maroon tone. Oh, that is really cool, Kylie. I still need to get that marker that you recommended. Okay. Now I'm using R46, which is strong red. And the thing with Copic Marker is just blend the edges of every color that you use to get it to get the transition as smooth as possible. Yes, that's right, Swordfish. It would be the exact same process. And I use the same process, not with reds, but with skin tone. And so if I have time tonight, we'll do skin tone as well. And thank you all so much again who rated with Mikey Mega Mega and for sticking around. I really appreciate it. All right, and now I'm going to R59, which is called Cardinal. And it's like the one step before the darkest red that I use. And so once I'm done laying down some color with this one, I'm going to take R46, which is strong red, and blend the edge. Just always blending. Then the lightest tone again, just in the center. Oh, Swordfish, I'm sorry about that, but you know what? I'm always here to help. I do a lot of live streams and I cover the skin tones a lot, so definitely stick around, because if I don't get to it tonight, I'll definitely be doing it on the next live stream. And for everyone, I don't have a schedule for my live streams because it really depends on the work that I'm doing and if I can live stream, if it's at a position where I have permission to live stream. But as a basic rule, I live stream about 3 times a week. And they're roughly on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And for notifications, I give about a half an hour notice on my social media accounts before I go live. And then if you're following me here and you click to get notified, you'll be notified when I go live. Oh, thank you, Lost Martyr. I really appreciate you being here. Okay, now I'm switching to R59, which is Cardinal. And I'm putting in some of the darker shades that I'd like. A little bit on her stomach, a little bit here. And I'm leaving like a slight rim light too. Okay, and then I'm blending it out with the next lighter color, which is the strong red. The number is R46. And you guys will see a pattern in my work in the way that I do it. I do a base color, then I do the next darker one, blend the edges with the lighter one, and I carry that throughout all of my work. Cooties here, is that what it is? Or Coot LS here? I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but thank you for the follow. Okay, now I'm going to dark red, R89, for the very darkest shadows. And the higher contrast you make it, the more shiny the garment looks. So for this one, it's not supposed to be an extremely shiny dress. As such, I'm not going very high contrast. If this was a latex dress, the contrast from light to dark would be a lot more intense. And because of how I hold my markers, I hold them all laying in their caps like this. And so it makes my hands a real mess and my markers a real mess. Ah! Oh, thank you so much, Kudos. Thank you, Kylie. I'm glad you like them. Okay, so then this is the other side. And I'm doing all of this with R46, which is the red tone. And welcome to the squeaky world of working with Copic Marker. They love to just go squeak, squeak. Thank you, Deadpool. Oh, Swordfish, I hear you. It's probably one of the most challenging things when it comes to working in ink or color, I'd say, is getting that latex. At least for me, it's quite challenging. But I do cover how to do it in some of my live streams. So yeah, I definitely would love to show you how to do that. Also, something to get is a white colored pencil. I like the Caran d'Ache Luminance one, and it's something you have to save for the very end because Copic Marker doesn't go over the luminance colors very well. It doesn't stick to them super good. But if you have one of those, it really helps to add that extra pop to make it look brighter and shinier. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm using Cardinal, which is R59. Okay, and now I'm blending it with the strong red, which is R46. Yes, R46. And sometimes, see, it's started to dry a little bit on this one, so I'm just kind of scrubbing a little bit harder on the edges of these portions of color, and it's helping it to blend out a little bit. So even if you maybe waited a little bit too long to blend, you can work with the Copic markers a little bit. You wouldn't want to do this technique that I'm using, where I'm kind of doing bigger sections all at one time, if you were doing skin, because it's not perfectly smooth. If you want it to be really smooth, which I really like smooth looking skin tone, you want to do it all in one shot, in one small section at a time, and then you'll get that nice smooth blend. For here, it's not super important because, you know, the dress can have some texture to it. So that's why I'm kind of going a little bit faster by working in bigger areas at a time. But if you were doing skin, I wouldn't recommend doing this. I would recommend doing it slowly in more smaller sections. All right, so now I'm using the very darkest tone. This is R89. All right, now I'm gonna work on these little spots here. I'm just gonna fill them again. Oh, James, they are very durable because you can replace almost everything on a Copic marker. And the thing is with Copic marker that's so great about it is that it's refillable. So they are an initial expense and quite a significant one depending on how many you want. But over time, they're actually a much better investment than many other markers, in my opinion, because you can replace everything and you can refill them. And the refills comparatively are very cheap. So these are some tinier, smaller sections here, but it's going really good. As far as getting them filled in, it'll be nice and quick. All right, now I don't have to worry about going over the lines here, so I'm gonna be a little bit more messy because it's all going to be very dark and much darker than what the reds are. So I'm not gonna really worry too much about going over the lines. Chuki136, hello. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice, Mark? Derek, thank you so very much for being here, for following me. I really appreciate it, and thanks for hanging out for a while. I'll see you one of the other live streams. Hello, Yo-Yo! So now, as you guys can see, I'm just straight up going over the lines. But I don't really care. It's not going to matter. Okay, R59 for some darker shadows. same over here. Start accentuating a little bit more of the light on these gloves. Well, they look like gloves now, but it's just a continuation of the sleeve, and there's only certain portions of this dress that are red. Wouldn't that be amazing? I would love getting some free markers. Not gonna lie. All right, so I'm doing a rough blend. I don't have a lot of space to work with here, so I'm trying to keep that contrast high. Same here, I'm gonna keep the contrast high and not worry too much about blending at all. Gotta be careful by her head though. The last thing I need is a big splotch of dark red on her face. That would suck. So now I'm using the very darkest one. It's called Dark Red, number R89. And I'm gonna blend it all out with R46. Thank you, Kylie. Oh, thank you, Richie. That is so very cool and so encouraging. Okay, rough blend. Not gonna do too much blend in there, or we're gonna lose any highlights that I may be trying to get. Yeah, strawberry birthmark, true. Hey, Louie. Oh, that's a great idea, Kylie. I just saw your post about the giveaway. All right, so what I'm gonna do to keep it all kind of in the same family color-wise is I'm gonna do the highlight of her, or the base tone of the black stripes on her outfit is going to be with dark red. I think that it'll work better if I have dark red as the base tone. I forgot that spot right there. So I'm gonna go over all of the, hold that thought. No, I'm not gonna do the black stripes yet. Imikaz, or Limikaz, thank you so much for the follow. I think it's Imikaz. All right, so because filling an area with such a dark color is dangerous when I have lighter colors that are gonna be right up against it. So her skin on her face and right here and any of the mesh portions, if I do them after I fill in all the big black stripes, what's gonna happen is I'm going to start pulling the black into her skin tone or making smudges, because Copic is a master marker at blending, but what happens is you wanna go lightest to darkest in cases like this. So I'm gonna switch right now, do her bust and maybe her face, and then move back into the rest of the dress. Hair or wings? Oh my God, that's amazing, Thomas1960. Thank you so very much. Yay, I'm so glad you've learned stuff, and thank you for hunting me down here. That means a ton. All right, so now I have to just figure out one thing. Kylie, I want to do the wings. I desperately want to be there for you. Except I can't remember what colors I used. So I need to look back and snoop on my own art a little bit and figure out which ones I used, or I'm gonna be stuck. I honestly don't even remember what I used for skin tone. I know I used 11 and 13, E13. It may have just been those two, actually. E11 and E13. I think that might have just been it. We'll see. EO8 was one, and I think YR12 was another. I think it was YR12 and EO8. I could probably wing it and figure it out. So if we have time, I'll go to the wings after. How's that? Okay, so E11 is what we're going to start with here. So I'm going to do the skin first, and then we'll move back with some of the other stuff after. So I'm starting with E11. Her skin is described in the comic book art notes, in the art notes from the comic book when I was working on the cover. The color of her skin is described as cinnamon. So it's a very reddish brown color. I know that this looks quite light, but I always start with a really light shade when I'm working with Copic markers on skin. It's just important that you're able to get areas where the skin has some shine to it. Skin generally does. So I'm starting with that, and now I'm moving into E13. I'm gonna wing the wings, that's right. All right, and just, I really kind of did one of those artist no-nos, and I didn't have the light source really picked out when I started. I just wung it, but it's looking like the light source is sort of coming from the right. So that's what I'm gonna go with. So what I'm doing is I'm putting down E13 and then blending the edges with E11. And of course, bust would catch the light a little bit more. Now that's a bit of a harsh line right there, so I'm gonna really blend that out. Put in a little bit more shadow on the edges. As you guys can see, it's bleeding out into the banding. That's fine, because the bands are gonna be black. Boobies! There we go. So I just used 2 markers this time and just blended them together. So I've been using E11 and E13. And while we're at it, I'm just gonna do her hands. So I'm doing the full base tone with E11. Yeah, E11 and 13 are actually part of the Copic Marker skin tone set that you can buy. So you can always get that one, and then you'll have, I think it comes with 6 markers, if I remember correctly. And they're all skin tone based colors. And from there you can pretty much do any skin tone, from a very pale person to someone with nice darker skin. So you can kind of go through the full range with that set. So now I'm just putting in a few sharper shadows. I'm gonna blend them just a touch. Having some good sharp shadows and stuff actually makes it look more believable and realistic. In real life, there are sharp shadows that are caused by a bright light and something in the way of said bright light, you know? So there's always something, and those are really hard to put in when you're not feeling particularly confident. Putting in those sharp shadows is one of the hardest things to do, but the more you can challenge yourself to do it, the more believable and striking your work will be. And if you're gonna start working on that, know that I'm right there with you, because confidence in highlights and shadows is one of my weaknesses. In other words, I lack it. Here goes Alex. Thank you for the follow. Yes, Swordfish. Vampirella does. This isn't Vampirella. This is a character called Hellwitch. So Vampirella has very light skin. She's a vampire, so of course it's that vampire style, very pale, sickly, not sickly in a bad way, but just lacking in tone. But the this character, she's called Hellwitch, and she has what's described as a cinnamon skin tone. Okay, so that portion of the skin is done. I won't work on her face now because people have requested wings. So let's do one wing so we can kind of run through a bunch of different things, and then I will, I'll need to head out because I have to go cook dinner. She has that copper tone tan, that's right. Kylie, I was thinking to use toner grays actually. All right, so let me get, I think I use these two colors primarily. So I'm getting the blank that I did last time with these, this kind of wing look. And I think I used YR12, EO8, and then yeah, just a few other darker browns. So yeah, we'll be fine. MCGRFX1. I don't want to ruin your name by trying to pronounce that, but thank you so much for the follow. What's for dinner? I'm doing beef strips and rice. All right, so with the wings, this was a little weird technique that I came up with last time on stream, and we're kind of working backwards. Starting with a darker tone. I'm breaking all the rules I just told you guys for proper blending. But I'm starting with the darker tone and then lightening it with a yellow. So it's a little bit of a weird technique, but I was trying to give her here the look of dragon wings, where like it's stretched skin and there's a light behind it, so you're seeing some of the veins and, you know, blood vessels and stuff in the wings. So that was kind of the look that I was going for here, and I'm gonna do the same on this one, and we'll just cross our fingers and hope it goes well. All right, so I'm gonna start with EO8 and just fill the entire thing. And EO8 is just a plain brown, but it's a very reddish brown. And you'll probably see that in the stream. Okay, so on my screen, it's looking quite orange. It's not that orange, but you know, you can't get, there are very few cameras that pick up every color exactly as it is, right? Rahel, thank you so much for the follow. So in order to fill a full section with Copic Marker, you can go over it a fair few times. Just bear in mind that every time you do, you're basically sticking another layer on top, and that's gonna make it darker. Cyber Second, thank you so much for the follow. Now her hair is black, so again, I don't have to worry too much about going over the lines. And I'm gonna start with 2 sections of her wing here. And I'll do the 3rd next. And also it looks like I'm gonna need to refill this marker. So this whole portion of working on the wings really taxes on the markers, and it just dries them out so fast. Because trying to saturate this much paper, and this paper is quite porous, like it really soaks up the marker. It's a slightly different paper, I think, from some of the previous Lady Death blanks, and so it's a lot more thirsty. Okay, so that's filled in. And now I'm gonna use YR12, and I'm gonna start pushing the color around and trying to like almost bleach it a little bit. So it's gonna take a little while for this technique to show up, but I'm using the yellowish ink to push the brown into like little webbing sections. So I'm smooshing it all over the place to make it move out of the way. So it's kind of working like the concept that I use with the colorless blender. I'm using it almost like a colored bleach in this way. And it's to give it a little bit more of a webbed, see-through look. And because it's pushing the brown into like the negative space, what's happening is it makes it look like these portions are darker now. Oh, that is so true, Kylie. Oh, Marasmo, thank you. And if you want it to be even more bright and standing out more, you just go over it a few more times, or if you're feeling really adventurous and bold, you can use a brighter color. But this is enough for what I'm going for here. And I know they're all looking kind of just oval and like little cute bloops right now, but I'll go over it and then make little areas that look like veins, and it'll help it to look a little bit more badass and less cute. Oh, Louie, I was winging it last time, so it's just a happy accident. To steal a Bob Ross term. So I want them to shine a little bit brighter, so I'm going over and making a bit more of them. So that's kind of the idea. And then I take the E08 again, which is the brown that I had there first, and I'm gonna start putting in shadow, adding in some veins to make it look a little bit more badass. And I'll go in with a darker marker shortly, because I am also waiting for the yellow to dry. It's a very full marker, and I overfilled it on purpose because you need to put down a lot of color. Oh, thank you, Philip. Oh, that's so cool. Yes, Gorgon Breath, there is. It's called the Scorched Earth Kickstarter. Okay, so this brown tone is actually not dark enough to go over the yellow. I'm gonna need to pull out one of my darker browns and use that to add a bit more of the actual veining into these pieces. Oh, thank you so much, Gabriel. Okay, so I think I'm gonna try, let's see. I'm gonna try some E9 and E18 to start with. So they're both slightly darker. And so I'm getting E9, E18, and let's do this. Now, Copic Marker lightens as it dries. So this might look a little darker than it's going to be at the end. And I'm trying to break up some of the more oval looking sections. And I'm not going to have the veins going all the way through to the very end. They're going to start trailing off now. Kind of like that. And it's just, keep it random. Hey, Leo. This would be in a little bit more shadow because her hair is right in front of it. Maybe I'll put a little bit more shadow here too. And I'm going to blend that shadow out with a little bit of brown. Oh yeah, no. Okay, and then E18 is one of the darker colors that I have. And I'm just going to do that along the edging. There we go. Any new Sherlock shenanigan updates? Not right now. Let's just darken these out too, so we have at least this finished. Okay. I have time to do a bit more on this wing, so let's start on the next bit. Oh, thank you so much, David. All right, so starting over in another spot, and again, I am using E08. It's just your standard brown. Thank you, Louie. And thank you, Mr. E. So I'm going back and forth on this because full saturation is more important here for me than, you know, keeping all the lines perfect or kind of not breaking those rules of having all the marker streaks going in the same direction. But at the very end, I'll go over it all and at least have the top coat going in the direction of the wing. See you later, Scott. Have a good one. All right, time to get some more sections going. See you later, Richie. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, I'm gonna use some E09 now. Start getting some of the veins in. Oh, that's true, Kylie. Thank you, Kevin. Yay. All right, and now I'm doing E18 for the darker shadows. There we go. Oh, be careful, Tom. Okay, so I finished the wings, we did the inking, and the next stream that I do, I think we can finish this whole thing up. Unfortunately, I have to run and cook dinner. So I am not gonna make it to do any more work on it today because I would really love to go raid someone. So does anybody have any suggestions of someone we should raid today? And to everyone new, thank you so much for joining me here. You guys rock so hard. It has been amazing to get the raid. Thank you to everyone who stuck around afterwards. Please feel free to follow me if you haven't already. I go live a few times a week and I would love to be able to have you on with me. And also, if you're interested, please feel free to subscribe to my email list. I have a new print of the month dropping on March 1st, and it's one that I worked on here on Twitch with you guys, so you definitely want to check that out. And thank you all so very much. I love you guys a ton. All right, I am going to take a look at some of the people I follow real quick to choose someone to raid. Let's see. Okay, there's a girl, I believe that we've rated her before. It's Oxcoxa. So I might see about rating her. Raid Kylie. Raw Derps, thank you so much for the follow. Yay! Strahan, thank you so much. Okay, so here we go. Let's go raid this channel. And guys, thank you so much for being with me here. I will be going live again on Friday. I'll keep you posted on my Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. My links are down below. You can go ahead and follow me there so I can let you know when I'm going live. Thank you all for being here. You guys rock. All right, here we go. Whoops. All right, let's do this. Here we go. Thank you all so much for being here. Let's go give this artist lots and lots of love. And let's go. Bye.